Attorney General Jeff Sessions making the official announcement right there, restoring asset seizures in the U.S. with some safeguards that he was just beginning to mention. And for more on this, let's bring in former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney Keisha Hebben and criminal defense attorney Eric Guster. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So some breaking news. Let's get your response first, Keisha.
Well, I have a problem with this reform of the forfeiture laws because it allows forfeitures of people who are not yet convicted of a crime. So you're violating the due process of all citizens of this country. So if someone's going to trial and then they're acquitted, what do? You can't go back and say, oh, right, we spent your money, but here it is. So I think that the reason why the Obama administration curtailed it is because of the possible abuse of people's rights.
But what about what we just heard the Attorney General say there? He said that out of the cases, only 4 out of 5 were never even challenged in court. 4 out of 5 never even challenged because the is primarily drug money.
It takes money to challenge them. You're talking about a court hearing, and you're dealing with people who may not be skilled in the court system or may not have a degree of any sort. Now the sheriff's department or the FBI is taking their assets and saying, what are you going to do about it? So they don't even know how to file a court filing, how to ask for it back. And what we've seen in these types of cases, and this is the very dangerous part, when you have innocent people who have been, their assets have been forfeited. For example, they'll take their cars, they'll take their money, they'll take their houses. Now the person is homeless, they have no cash to hire a lawyer and defend them, even if they're innocent, and that puts them in a very bad position. And that's why the Obama administration rolled that back, because there were so many abuses of that.
Well, there's some added changes, though, that we didn't get a chance to get to, but amongst them, one of the key changes, for police, it will be much harder for them to seize less than 10,000 versus the less than 5,000 where it was previously, that amongst some other things that safeguards.
I think that will help, and the fact that it has to be ran by the prosecutor is also a good idea, because a prosecutor will know, okay, yes, there's probable cause, but we have a strong or we have a weak case, and maybe that will eliminate the possibility of abuse.
Well, let's move on to our second topic, though, today. There are some new details on the meeting between Donald Trump Jr. and a Russian lawyer. The 8th person in that meeting has been identified. He works for a Russian real estate developer with ties to President Trump going back a number of years. So what is your take on this? Does this put Donald Trump Jr. in more jeopardy?
I think so. His credibility at this point is in question, because initially they were just talking about adoption. Then it was, okay, I want to be transparent. We were talking about sabotaging Hillary Clinton. Now you have this 8th person who I believe was accused of money laundering in the past, and it just points to the fact that this meeting was more about how do we get Donald Trump to win and more about finances.
But according to his attorney, the 8th person involved in this meeting, he was only called to be what he believed was a translator for the Russian attorney, and he didn't even say anything for the full 20 minutes of this meeting.
Yeah, and that person may not have said anything, but one of the problems that we have right now is Donald Trump Jr. said, I had no types of collusion, and he released his own emails, which indicated there may have been some kind of link. And it does warrant a possible criminal investigation to see exactly what happened. They need to subpoena people. They need to get people under oath, testify about what happened, what was given, what was transferred to other people, and see what really happened in that meeting.
Yeah. And I'm not buying the interpreter thing, because apparently the person that he was supposed to interpret for had her own interpreter. Yeah, so it's very fishy, and I think the citizens will want an investigation, which is why Mueller is asking for more information.
Right, and you had mentioned his possible background as a money launderer. I think that in terms of, he put what $1.4 million went through a series of banks, billions actually, 1.4 billion.
And when you have a person like that in the mix of this 8, a person who knows how to launder money, and there are allegations kind of floating around saying that this may have occurred, some type of money laundering and information passing.
But he was never charged, I should say that. He definitely was never charged.
Yeah, but it's one of these admit what you must, deny what you can right now. And that's what Donald Trump Jr. is doing. He was smart to lawyer up. He's smart to be quiet at this point and then let the system play it out.
Keisha?
Yeah, I just think that with all the information that's coming out in this whole situation and the suspicions of the ties to Russia, it doesn't look good, and it's not really going to help the credibility of Trump Jr.
Do you think it's just fishing, though, at this point, and that it won't stop?
It could be fishing, but
Will it stop if they come completely clean and release absolutely every meeting that they've ever had with anyone that could possibly have a tie to Russia?
Yes, but that's what they were supposed to do in the beginning.
Okay.
And that's one of the problems. Even my friends who are staunch, heels in the ground GOP people, why didn't they tell about this meeting? It's one of those situations almost like you're dealing with your spouse. Why didn't you tell me that you were in San Francisco, or why didn't you tell me you were in Chicago?
Yeah.
You were denying everything. Then,
Right.
Even
then
if
she finds
you
a
didn't do
plane
anything
ticket.
wrong.
Hey,
Right. Why are you
go
lying?
here?
Okay.
Right. Why are you lying?
All right. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank
We have
you,
to wrap it
Heather.
up. John?